Entrepreneurs from the Future.
I'm doing almost 9 panels today, and everyone sitting on the panel is a person I personally know. And I chose each and every one of you because I believe in you, you've been part of the community, you add value, you have been a game changer. And plus, I know you so well, so this could be fun because we know how to pull each other's strings. So I'm not going to do an introduction because I feel like sometimes we oversay or we undersay what people do and who they are, and I'd rather they tell you who they are based on how they believe they are. So go ahead, Richard.
Which mic do I use? Hello?
Does this work?
Thanks, Sarah. Nice talk as well. It's so hustle and bustle outside, and I've just come from a busy office on a Monday morning, so it was relaxing your talk and inspiring as well. And anyone championing female entrepreneurship is doing the right thing, and especially in this part of the world, so well done. I'm Richard Fitzgerald. I'm an entrepreneur. I set up a media business about 8 years ago. It's called Augustus Media. We say we have a mission to build the leading modern media company of choice in the Middle East and North Africa. Our brands are Lovin and Smashy. Lovin is a local news and lifestyle platform. It started with Lovin Dubai, and it's now in 22 cities across the region. And Smashy is a content platform for inspiring stories, mainly in entertainment, business, and sports. We have an Odium content studio as well. We have offices in 5 cities across the region. And it's a modern media company. We do have in-house tech, but mainly we're a kind of a content company as well. And looking forward to the panel.
I think you're being too humble. I should have introduced you. Lovin Dubai, guys, the page everyone is addicted to. All our news and gossip comes from this guy over here. So you've done a great job in navigating the media and presenting it to us in the best way ever, the most funnest way ever. Yeah.
Thanks, I have a good team.
Amazing. Stefano.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Pleasure to be here, guys. So my name is Stefano. I'm the founder of Podeo. We're the platform, we're the infrastructure for the podcaster economy in the Middle East and North Africa. We like to say that our mission is to amplify the underrepresented voices of the region and to enable creators and listeners and advertisers. So today we power about 95% of the region's podcasts, reaching tens of millions of listeners, and we're on a mission to really shed the light on all the voices and really sort of change the mainstream narrative that has been pushed to us for as long as we can remember.
So if anyone wants to start a podcast, your platform gives them that opportunity. Do you feel like it's for the underdogs, right?
It's not necessarily. I mean, we
heroes.
power the podcast for the largest publishers in the region, but we're more of the end-to-end platform for anyone that wants to share their story, their voice, their thoughts, their prayers. So we essentially bring all the tools in one place, and then one click, their podcast gets out on every single platform.
Got it. Jad.
Jade. Hi, my name is Jade. I am from Germany. I'm born in Germany. I'm originally from Turkey. Sorry for my English. I learned my English in 5 days last year. I hope you understand me all year.
Woo! Good job.
Now, I have a company. I started 25 years ago in Germany with a wedding location and marketing company, catering service, now construction company in Turkey, restaurants in Turkey, and now I hope next year here in Dubai I open the sweetest coffee shop here.
You have restaurants all over Turkey.
Yes, two.
Yeah, I love that. I've seen your concepts. I feel like you put your character and your personality in everything you do.
This all what you see is myself. I am not architect, I am not designer. Why? I born in Germany. I am in Germany, Turkish guy, and in Turkey, German. Yeah. It's very hard for me. Why? You make a business, all police from Germany, governor comes, you cannot make this, you cannot make, and you beginning to fight, to make, preparing on designs all, and step by step, I have myself design, all is for me. I have never persons. I hope it is better when I have it persons help me, or gives not.
No, but that's, I mean, that's what an entrepreneur is, sometimes self-sufficient. You don't have to always depend on something. You have a drive and you go for it. Which brings me to the question. Now, the title is Entrepreneurs from the Future, because you guys have been in business, maybe Stefano, how old is your business?
3 years, but unofficially about 8. So.
8, all right, okay. So you all have been part of entrepreneurship way before AI and all of these trends and things started happening. I'm going to ask this question, and I want each and every one of you to answer the same question. Richard, do you feel threatened by the AI movement and all that? Does it affect your business in a negative way? Or do you feel like you are an entrepreneur from the future and you know how to segue and navigate your way through that?
I would like to say the latter as well, but obviously, definitely, there's a threat. It's disruptive, but equally exciting. And I think anyone from the past who, in the media world, who adapted to new technologies, which seemed seismic at the time, did well, right? Like Walt Disney did motion picture, right? Other people did TV when they really shouldn't, right? And they're entrepreneurs because their business is already set up, and then they're navigating the changes. So even NVIDIA have changed their business 3 times since 1993, right? Like, you know, even the darlings of AI at the moment aren't an AI startup, right? They listed in 1999, right? So I think I'm totally excited about it. I think it's hugely disruptive. But also, I think that we have to understand this, right? Like, because bubbles come and go, right? We're not, you know, look at a few years ago when we were massively in Web3, and there's a lot of good being built in Web3, and I really believe in Web3, especially for content. But bubbles do sort of come and go, right? Like in the pandemic, stock prices went really high and things like that. So right now, how are we doing AI? We've got AI cameras in 16 stadiums across the country. We are disrupting legacy incumbent TV stations who can no longer afford to send OB trucks to do live sports because they don't have the advertising dollar from the past. And we're streaming the local matches in the UAE, and the national funded TV stations aren't doing it. For basketball, futsal, volleyball, and handball, we're using AI for a few years. And then we're also putting in extra budgets into our software costs each year to let our young content creators, humans, use the expensive AI software. So we're pumping out more content faster. We're embracing it, but yeah, it's hugely frightening, Sarah. Like you know, when I see some of the videos of influencers and people, and like, you know, there are already AI-only media companies, and there's only going to be more and more. And you know, the ones like us who don't adapt will die, definitely.
What about you, Stefano? What do you think?
I like to think of it that initially, you know, the vision gets grander with time, right? So when I started, and I said that unofficially 8 years ago, because it was still first year of college, came up with this idea to build like a Twitter for audio, right? And that was the goal. It was always to give a platform for voices to shed and spread their word. And so obviously that crashed and burned, eventually went and got a grant from the FIFA World Cup, started building a product that was catered for commutes. So if you had 20 minutes ride to the stadium, you get 20 minutes worth of content. Started aggregating content from across the web, realized that there's 4 million podcasts globally, less than 500 were in Arabic. So the natural progression was obviously to start work with creators and give them the tools that they need to start shedding the light and really enable them to share their voices. And last year and a half, we onboarded about 50,000 creators on our platform when the entire region had less than 1,000 podcasts accumulated over a span of a decade. And so thinking from that perspective, right, we see that the vision is the North Star, and whatever we do is sort of, or we adapt, right? We're flexibly stubborn. I like to call it that way. And so whatever we're going to build down the line is always going to be dedicated to that grander vision. And we're always going to build tools and the best products in the market to be able to get there. quicker, faster, and better. And what we're going to do, you know, we have so much plans for audio and sound Gen AI. We have so much planned for linguistic adaptation from a content perspective. So all of that is definitely going to help us get to our vision quicker and really sort of navigate the waters, and based on learnings, based on innovation, based on all the different factors that come into play.
Do you feel like, okay, I know that change is necessary when it comes to technology. You have to be on top of the game always. But do you feel like this is expensive, and are you open to change, or are you the kind of person that pushes a little bit and then adapts to it slowly?
I mean, it's definitely expensive, right? But there's a lot of tools that are coming up right now that you can build on top of. And you know, that's why we fundraise. That's why we're VC backed. It's to be on top of our innovation game and to be able to push the limits to where we can get to quicker and faster. So there is that aspect of being stubborn, but also it's being flexible enough to adapt and change and really understand what the customer needs to be able to tailor the products for them.
What about you, Jade?
AI is, I am now 47 years old, and I can remember when I was 6 years, 8 years, the world was very hater, and for me is AI not good I think for the world. Why? You cannot later see what is real, what not real. No, he gives not good men or good persons of the world. He gives bad persons, and you know, you can go to doctor, you have a pain in your head or here, you can change the arm, the eyes, you can change one not ghost. And AI is not a pupil. And I think when it's faster to faster to faster, this is not okay, not good.
Not good, got it. So, especially in your business line, how flexible? Let's talk about your F&B, okay, restaurants and all that. How flexible are you to change and adaptation, and how does it look like in that industry?
I have friends in Germany have restaurants make after pandemic, after Corona, always digital. I say this is not okay. This is very good for you. You have not workers or a service. When I go to restaurant, I cannot feel this. I can sit at home and I can order. This is for me digital. Why I go to the restaurant? I see the person, I see the pupil, I see the service. I say what is good, what is not good. This is for me old school. It's better. And I say all my friends, why you go to Europe or to historical? This is have history.
Yeah.
You can building the best building. You cannot feel this.
Yeah.
This is for me important.
No, I understand, because I have friends who actually travel to Europe for vacation and sit in the apartment and order food online. It's like, you're traveling, why aren't you? Like, I feel like a lot of people lost their touch with humanity, and that's, I think, a negative side to AI, where you're too comfortable just not being human anymore, and everything is so accessible and easy.
Yes, and I feel now I have workers, 300 persons. I say I have not one person is okay here. all I say, make this here, make here. Why? He cannot thinking what is good, what is he learned in school in this way.
Yeah.
And for 25 years ago, I beginning with my work, it was harder. You feel you work real, and now it's not real.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one thing. I'm going to ask you guys questions, but you have to give me specific answers, okay? So, for example, we'll start with Richard. Give me 3 things you hate about AI. 3 things. About the future, the technology movement and all that.
That I don't know enough about it.
Think about it.
Sorry, that's one of the.
Come out.
That's one of the things that I'm not like. You know, firstly, right? AI was for me the reason I didn't read up about it in the last few years is I thought it was going to disrupt other industries first. I thought it was the codey thing or the techie thing or the science or the health, so I didn't bother with it too much. But it came for content first, right? Like the generative AI. The ChatGPT, right? It hit our industry first. I didn't expect it. I thought Web3 was going to hit our industry before AI did. You know, so that's one of the things that I'm just not ready for it. Second thing is, you know, and the theme of the panel in the future of AI, our future of entrepreneurs, when we say we're a new media company or modern media company, I see it like setting up a law firm for today. I see it like hiring media personalities and journalists who still studied journalism and marketers who still studied marketing. And, but I specialize on digital, right? So if you set up a law firm today, it doesn't have to be a SaaS law firm that's tech and that's robotic. And I still stand by that. Like, I think, sure, media is hard, right? Because you've got TikTok and you've got creators. So what's the point of media? What's the point? You know, newspapers died and now websites are dying, but you can still be on podcasts. You can still be on other places. So that's the other thing. That's the second thing, is that, like, I think the future entrepreneur isn't, you know, I don't believe in work from home. I don't. I think all our journalists and content creators, lateral thinking, should be in a studio deciding stories together, learning how to package stories and things like that, and the human interactivity. I love that we can work remotely, but I still believe in whatever it's an office or the future office, I still believe in the communal working environment. And so that's the second thing. I'll think of a third at the end.
No, I think you're right. Human interaction is important. This is something we cannot live without. What about you? 3 things you hate about it?
I think
Just be raw and real.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I love it, but I'm learning to sort of get the both sides of the equation, right? I think one part of it is that the community of a human creator, now that we're speaking of creators specifically, is built based on the trust of the human, right? And then you're going to get to a point where, are we going to trust these AI engines that are essentially feeding us information with probably little to no human element and emotion? So I think that's one. 2, it's the fact that it is essentially sort of getting us into that mindset of being really in a simulation, in a way.
Yeah.
I think that we're getting to a point where we're not necessarily thinking about specific logic or about analogies. We're just dumping it into the OpenAI or whatever machine, and we're just getting the information. So from that perspective, you're thinking less. And I'd like to compare it as well to the calculator, right? When the calculator brought up. But also there's positives to that, because you get quicker results, so you're able to move to another stage and you're able to innovate from 0 to 1. Yes, exactly. That's number 2 why I hate it. And then I think number 3, it's the fact that it's you know, still expensive to build. I think that's something that we're also experimenting with, is that we're spending on, and we're building our own audio LLMs that are built on culture and so on and so forth. So it is definitely expensive.
Look at Stefano. He's like, we're living in a stimulation. He's going down the rabbit hole on this panel. Jade, what about you, Jed?
I have
like 3. Look, I like it because your industry is a little bit not involved, and I like how, you know, you're like, I hate it. I like it, but I hate it. So give me 3 things.
3 things: bad or good?
Bad.
Bad. First is this makes you stupid. You cannot change the mind. This makes you stupid. Why? It's a long story. Okay. 2 is this is not real. In Turkey is social media for 5 years ago. 1 second more gives big war in social media, fake news. And I think this is social media. What is now with AI? It's very, very real. I can see this. And in 5 years, you cannot see is real or unreal.
Yeah.
And 3, from people you can make later the machine. We are not machine. God gives me blood, heart, and tear.
Oh, I believe in that, totally. I mean, even now, when I go online, I'm watching all these people wearing the Apple glasses walking in the street. Like, it freaks me out, because I do love technology, but at the same time, I love human interaction. I love humans. I think we're like the most beautiful creation ever. Nothing can be created like us. But I love the diversity of, we have 2 entrepreneurs here, extremely successful, They are immersed in the tech world, and the tech world is serving them back. And then we have an entrepreneur that has a different industry, but at the same time, extremely successful. And you can see how not everything in life is black or white. You can navigate and use tech to serve you in different ways. Last question. What is the future for you, Richard? What do you have coming up? Other than telling us everything that's happening.
I'm sorry to cut you, but we only have like 10 seconds each.
Yes,
if
well,
that's
we wrap
okay.
it up really fast.
You know, we want to achieve our mission, so we're making the decisions around digital, around media brands, and around this region, and that's what we're doing. I sat in a meeting last week. Someone was offering me kind of an AI software to cut highlights, and they said, "How many leagues are you going to be streaming in 5 years' time?" I said, "I don't know," and I love being able to say no and not being accused of not having vision and not having been accused of not knowing how I'm leading the company. Like we're going after our mission, but we don't have all the answers.
Got it. Stefano.
For us, we're just going to continue on building the best tools to go after our mission, which is really give back voices to people. And we also look at the radio world and how that's going to obviously get disrupted by on-demand content. So we're really working with radios as well to make sure that they're able to shine and really also have a role in the next era of audio entertainment.
Interesting. What about you, Jade?
I work with myself, not AI.
I love it. This guy's a badass. Thank you so much, guys, for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming here.